Now let's turn to another story, which probably would have been bigger news if it wasn't for Nigel Farage's announcement this week, and that is, of course, Prince Harry. He had a pretty disappointing day in court. The case that he had brought against the publisher of the Daily Mail and various other newspapers, along with a series of other celebrities and members of the great and good, concluded in failure for him. He was suggesting that various stories that had been written about him over the years were produced by ill-gotten means, whereas the judge took a very different view, concluding that many of these were procured by, could reasonably expected to have been procured by standard journalistic processes. So at least this part of Prince Harry's crusade against the press has drawn to a close. What have you made of this, Francis? Do you think this is proof that maybe this was all about just his anger with how he was being reported on, rather than actually any particular malfeasance that might have taken place there?
Well, let's look at it from, let's look at the facts of the case. The facts of the case are Prince Harry lost. The facts of the case is that not only did he lose, he was, let's be honest about this, utterly humiliated. None of the charges stuck. The press won a resounding victory. This is a further blow and a dent in his reputation. And there have been numerous dents over the years, many of them self-inflicted, from the book to the accusations about racism to the way that on the Oprah Winfrey show, Meghan said one thing, Harry said another. He doesn't look like the most reliable of witnesses. Let's just put it this way. And then we've got to focus on, well, how's he going to pay for this? By all accounts, this trial cost 50 million quid. Even for the likes of Prince Harry, that is a hell of a lot of money. So who's going to stomp up the cash? How's he going to pay for it if he's the only one that's going to pay for it? This can be viewed as nothing other than a disaster for Prince Harry.
And what have you made of it, Nick?
Well, I mean, as you know, Tom, I'm a free speech purist. If nothing else, it's probably one of the core things about my whole belief system. So I'm generally happy when the press wins something like this. I mean, unless there's something really egregious has gone on, like the phone hacking and stuff like that. I mean, fine. But if it's just actual reporting about things that are actually happening in reality to someone who is a member of the royal family, I think that should be roughly fair game within reason. And I think, so I was very happy that that failed. I mean, I sort of feel sorry for him because it's clear he's gone down a wrong path. And as Francis said, 50 million quid is a lot of money, even for Prince Harry. It's a confused sort of position that he finds himself in, because in a sense, he sort of said, well, I'm sort of resigning my princehood to be a private citizen, and I'm going to go off to America with my wife and just be a private citizen. But actually, he's a celebrity. What he does is he goes on programs. He's clearly a public figure. So the idea that somehow, divorcing himself from being officially a member of the royal family, whatever that actually means in practice, it's just sort of lame and just was never really going to work.
Mm-hmm. And the idea that he was almost no different to any kind of private citizen clearly hasn't really washed.
I mean, completely ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is remarkable just how much he seems to blame the media for almost everything. I believe it was the evidence he gave to a previous successful trial against the Mirror Group newspapers. He was actually blaming the press for everything from being bullied at school through to the treatment of his wife, obviously. I think there was one bit where he was claiming that the constant headlines about him being a bit dim had directly put his life in danger, because in his words, someone would walk around saying, I know you're a bit stupid, now I'm going to stab you. I mean, the level of kind of victim complex is pretty remarkable. But I mean, Francis, it's almost a bit retro talking about Harry and Meghan. We've grown not only tired of them, but probably tired about talking of them as well. But do you think that the mood has sort of soured against them across the board? I know that they're not picking up as much traction in America these days. Do you think this kind of transition from royal life to celebrity life has panned out for them, or is this joke not funny anymore?
Well, I just think everyone's bored of them. Look, if you want to go down that whole celebrity route, not that these people are celebrities per se, but if you look at, David Bowie, you have to reinvent yourself. You have to produce something new. You've got a great new album, then there's a new character, whether it's, Aladdin Sane or Ziggy Stardust, to keep people hooked in. There's a new look, there's a new sound, whatever it may be. With an actor, there's a new movie. mean, you look at Harry and Meghan and go, right, what's new? What's different? What is this it? I mean, people get very bored nowadays, even of things that they love. And if you've got nothing to offer an audience, apart from the fact that someone may have been racist to you once, well, you look around at the world and you go, I'm sorry, mate, I think there's bigger things at play right now.
Yeah, and people are definitely tiring of the kind of international privacy tour as South Park
Yeah.
famously sent it up.
Yeah,
On
definitely.
and on especially because of the fact that it's an old point, but it's a fair one, that to crow constantly about privacy, meanwhile you're parading in front of the Netflix cameras
Mm.
and describing your own genitals in excruciating detail in your autobiography doesn't quite wash. But Nick, I suppose on the policy front, because a lot of the sort of pro press regulation
Yeah.
camp have been rowing in behind Harry for some time now. They saw him as one of their supposed champions. What do you think the prospects are for reopening the whole Leveson question now, or is that something that the Labour Party are going to be far too busy to even look at this point?
I mean, I don't think they'll probably look at it. You never know. Well, what Burnham's going to do or not do, we still don't really know at this point. We don't have at least a solid idea. But I think that one of the things about it is, I found it really quite frustrating, actually, that the Leveson sort of bunch, the people who were really pushing for press regulation, rode in behind Harry. I think they just felt like he was going to be a Trojan horse that was going to get them to where they wanted to go, right? He was going to be the battering ram. And so, yeah, I mean, that's an extra wrinkle on why I'm happy about this result, because I'm glad that bid, if you like, from the Leveson bunch failed.